I should be like you, Mel.
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another week of Cherry AM, and it wouldn't be Cherry AM with the main man next to me, Mr. Ollie Hudson. How are you doing, Ollie?
Yeah, not bad, thank you, Craig. Good morning, mate. Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, and hope everybody had a good weekend. Before we get stuck into things, I know that there's quite a few messages going around. So Paul from Oz is here. We'll join at 8:15 a.m. Don't worry, we'll still be about. You can even rewind it if you want, or watch it live and then rewind the bit that you missed afterwards. Malcolm Chiverton is in the house. Hello, Malcolm. Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday to you all. Happy Monday, Malcolm. Chris has said, good morning, Mal. Malcolm has said, good morning, Chris. Paul Sant, welcome back, mate. And he said, good morning, everyone. Chris Hubble said, morning to everybody as well. Morning from Dan Short. And he's put, this weekend's flown by so fast, not long till pre-season starts. Thank God. I can't wait. I cannot wait. The football season. I do you know what? I don't think people that don't like football realise how much football fans in general miss it.
It's a huge gap in my year, as I'm sure it is with a lot of other people's, but it's a noticeable seasonal gap being out of the Premier League for me.
Yeah, 100%. And do you know what? Even when the EFL kicks off, it'll be at least there'll be football on the TV, something to enjoy, something to watch. The football season is such a massive thing. Some people just don't understand it. But we talk about mental health nowadays, and football is a big part of that. Dan said, hey, Craig and Ollie. Malcolm said good morning to us as well. Good morning. Chris as well said good morning, and we're going to come on to that. Congratulations to Alex Scott, Euro champion. But yeah, there we go. There we are. Before we get going, I just want to say thank you to everybody as well, because there has been some really, really, really nice comments that have been sent over to me, both personally. People can find me on Messenger, Facebook Messenger. I'm not the greatest with it, I've got to be honest, so I do apologize if they go unanswered for a couple of days, but also via this platform as well, with regards to the recent joys that I've been going through. But yeah, Thursday was a particularly horrible day, where I had to go in for checkups and things like that, blood tests, the ECG luckily has come back and said everything is okay with regards to that element, but they're still working out what is going wrong. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. Hopefully it's something that's manageable. and yeah, we shall see where we go from there.
Yeah, and everyone here at the channel, mate, is thoroughly behind you. So obviously anything you need, and I'm sure everyone in the community and in the chat is also thoroughly behind you. So
yeah, thank you so much, guys.
And move forward with it, mate.
100%, and yeah, we'll see what happens next. Well, the results for the blood test should be coming on Wednesday. So yeah, we shall see. But yeah,
we'll keep you updated with the doom and gloom with Craig, I promise.
Yes. But here we go. I tell you what, just don't discuss VAR because the blood pressure will go up through the roof. Then, we will do that show at some point, but yeah, probably not for the best at the moment. But let's talk about Alex Scott. And of course, Euro champion, as Dan said there. Did you watch it, Ollie?
I did. Well, that's a lie. I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it. But yeah, I just think it's fantastic, and it needs a real big shout out. It's back-to-back champions, right? First time in 41 years for the under-21 squad or something. I was reading.
It's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just amazing. And I think some of the players in the team as well. Again, they deserve this kind of spotlight. I mean, who was in there? Smith Rowe, Alex Scott, Harvey Elliott. A ton of them that clearly performed, and looking back at the stats and some of the commentation, it was dominance really. Some of the second half. But did you watch it?
Yeah, I did, and the way I saw it, the first half we played brilliantly. Alex was really in the thick of it. He was really playing well until he got that knock. I think it was with Walter Marder, who was their best player really on the night. And to be honest, he really did change it for Germany in that second half. He had a clash with him, I believe it was, and that from that point, I think he always struggled. I think, he has got a little bit of an injury, and nothing too serious, but first half, Harvey Elliott was absolutely fantastic. His runs through, he ran himself into the ground. Of course, he had to come off before extra time. So yeah, a very, very inspired performance. First half we were brilliant, but there was always that concern. As soon as Germany got that goal just before halftime, I thought, that's probably the worst possible time for them to have got one back. And so it proved, 2-2, deep into the second half. Momentum was with Germany at that time. Walter Marder, like I said, looks a fantastic player. Don't know much about him, to be perfectly honest, but he looks like a really, really promising player. To be honest, he looks a bit like Mick Hucknall, the German Mick Hucknall, with a moustache. Yeah, he looks a little bit like him. But Germany were unlucky not to win it right at the end when they did have a very good shot cannon off the crossbar. It was touched onto the crossbar by an England defender as well. I think it was Smith Rowe. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check that, but I think it was Smith Rowe that got the deflection, which took it onto the crossbar. And then, extra time come on board. A fantastic third goal. And then towards the end of extra time, Germany did the same. But again, luckily it hit the crossbar. So, yeah, it was a hard-fought win. Like Malcolm says here, and I will come back to your comment in a second, Dan, two very good teams giving football fans a match to remember. Yeah, it was. It was a really, really, really good match. And the under-21s well deserved that victory against the Germans. Albeit, it was one of those games that you couldn't begrudge Germany if it had gone the other way. But, we've done it. What we now need to do is we need to make this transpire into the 14. We need to... We've got such a good young side. We now need to either, ship out the old players, the players that haven't been been performing for England. You know the ones that we mean, Kyle Walker, players like that, Harry Maguire, and bringing players who are young, hungry, and determined. I think I've just picked out two defenders there. If there is one criticism of the under-21s that I saw, was defensively we weren't the greatest. But midfield and going forwards, the midfield was particularly strong, which again is probably our strength at the full level as well. You've got the likes of Jude Bellingham in there, Jack Grealish, you name them, Bukayo Saka. So we probably have got an abundance of strength in that midfield. So defence could be our Achilles heel. Also, goalkeeper wise, I think we're good for years to come.
I think it's interesting points you just brought up there that I want to touch on just quickly. Sorry, Malcolm, just before we come to your comment, you can kind of tell that because Germany had more possession overall, 54 to 45.6. Same amount of shots on target, but more shots overall. They had more passes. They had more attacking plays. So everything about them looked like a more attacking side, right? Which shows our defence obviously stuck and our tactical play was a lot better in certain places. But I think it's also interesting and awesome to highlight that Harvey Elliott not only opened the scoring, but also got 5 goals in the tournament. So he earned player of the tournament. And he's now got 14 career goals under 21. So that if we're talking about implementing the England squad, crikey, that there's a goal scorer there that needs to be brought over. There's some young energy that can be brought over, but it just doesn't seem like it's ever going to happen. I don't know why that is.
And Malcolm said here, and this is a very interesting point because, of course, Thomas Tuchel is German. Now, what Germany have got, and what I've always been quite jealous of Germany for, is having that really good production line where players come through into the full team. They perform, they go and win something. England have kind of had this great under-21s team and great under-19s side, and it's just kind of fell flat there. And what Malcolm said there is Thomas Tuchel, a German manager who you'd think, right, okay, might introduce players, because that's what German managers do, bring players in, build them into, is that German mastery, isn't it? It just, I'm sure Germans are probably the best at puzzles. I couldn't do a puzzle if my life depended on it. You gave me a 5,000 piece puzzle, the thing would be out the window by the end of the day. I'm sure a German could probably do that in about an hour. I'm joking aside, but this is what I mean. Thomas Tuchel is a different type of manager to that, and have we got the only German that isn't going to do that?
Well, it's hard to say. I don't. Firstly, haven't watched enough of Thomas Tuchel's work at the clubs that he's been at to have a good understanding of how he's going to take the England team to somewhere that Lee Carsley or Gareth Southgate or anyone else didn't. That doesn't. I can't really see the logic there, to be honest. But we'll see. International football's a different game, isn't it? It's a whole different sport, really.
It is, yeah. Dan Short said, get Harvey Elliott into the first team. 100%. Get Harvey Elliott down to Dean Court. I'd take him tomorrow. Honestly, literally would. I would drive up to Liverpool, get him in the car and drive him back down. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'll do it today.
I'm not sure how much he'd enjoy that, Craig.
Yeah, to be honest, he probably could do a little bit better than this Ankesh guy. Germany pressed all over the pitch, and going forward, they mostly had 5 players in and around the box. Yeah, they were very, very good, the Germans. I've got to say that. A couple of other comments as well. Let's go quickly to this one. Happy birthday for Wednesday, Chris Hubble, 38 years old. There we go. So 38 years old, Chris. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
And we do have Chris and also Dan Short asking about any transfer rumours.
Yes, there is.
There
So
is. Oh, go for
that
it.
was the next segment of the morning. Actually, I wanted to just make sure that obviously after Friday's show where we had transfers in and out confirmed, and then speculation and a kind of tiered speculation categorized system of how each one was going to come in and how tactically and logically they fit and so forth. So yeah, over the weekend there has absolutely been some more speculation, mainly, unfortunately, around Senesi. I'm not sure how much of this you've seen, Craig, but obviously I was thinking about Marcus Senesi. It's being watched at the moment by majority Italian and Spanish clubs. So you've got Juventus, Roma, Real Sociedad, Real Vallecano, as well as Everton and Tottenham. Now, again, it seems like everything that's discussed, Everton and Tottenham are involved. So they're not as speculation, but from by the looks of things, about 8 different outlets over the weekend, there is interest in Marcos Senesi around Italy and Spain. Which is a shame because that almost sounds like a big speculation. That's not a bit of rumor. That's something that's come out pretty heavy hitting. It's the kind of talks that tend to move quicker than normal. So we'll see. A few other bits. I'll just kind of rattle through these. Justin Kluivert drawing a couple of different offers. So there was a 30 million pushback for Fiorentina over the weekend. Apparently, we won't be going for any less than 37. Obviously, Milos Kerkez now completely at Liverpool, which is fantastic, 5-year contract. And also eyes on Hamed Traore and Krupi from the Italian league as well. Again, that a lot less spotlight on both of those two players. You're talking 1 or 2 different credible sources rather than 7 or 8 when it comes to Marcus Senesi. But there's a lot going on. And over the weekend, I listened to a lot of podcasts, a lot of Bournemouth-related podcasts, other teams talking about Bournemouth, Premier League podcasts bringing up Bournemouth, and it seems the same words come out of everyone's mouth and is plastered across everyone's lips, and that is how worried they are for Bournemouth moving into next season. I even saw the words go as far as, are we going to be battling relegation? Now, I just want to cut all of that negativity and all of that pessimism, right? And just understand that there is no way, shape or form would be building this plan and investing all of this money under Foley if we were just going to let all of our players go and not have a squad for the 2026 season. That is a nuts way to think. That's a crazy way to think.
I do worry about this Senesi rumour now. I've seen a little bit about it, of course, previously, but I didn't realise there were so many clubs after him. The thing is with Marcos Senesi, what we've done is because Dean Howson had such a good second half of the season, he's kind of come back. He got injured. He's come back from injury and couldn't really claim his place in the side, which has probably led to frustration. Senesi, based on the likelihood of Zabania wanting to go, and the rumour is that he does want to go to PSG, has to be somebody who is probably the first name on the team sheet. But he's probably thinking back to last season and thinking, well, why do I want to stay somewhere where I'm not valued? He really is very much valued, and we're in a sticky situation now. If these rumours are to be believed, and if Senesi, who knows what's going through Senesi's head, Senesi might think, right, okay, I want to go to Italy. I can't see at Everton, or Spurs. I don't see the gain in that. Italy might be his his option, but I'm just hoping that we can keep hold of him, and I think we will do. I think there will be that guaranteed of his place in the side, but we do potentially need another central defender, and who
Oh
knows who that
God,
central
yeah.
defender
Our
is going to
recruitment
be.
over the next few weeks needs to be heavy.
Yeah,
And I think Paul's right. I think transfers will start hotting up tomorrow. I think it being the 1st of July, it's got
yes.
that's 8 weeks then. 8 weeks to the end of the transfer window.
This show's going to go absolutely crazy because I think we're going to have different players to discuss every single day.
100%, yeah, and I think it's going to be ins and outs constantly. I think there's going to be loans coming left, right, and centre. I think it's going to be a really exciting time to keep an eye on, and I don't think we should cry over spilt milk, as some people might say, by losing some of these current players, because all it means is we've had a real exciting 2 years. Imagine what kind of random exciting 2 years we can have with all the other development. Like, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. The excitement's still going to continue.
But of course, Senesi, maybe he will stay. Of course, Mrs. Senesi is still here, Kelsey Bowers. So yeah, I think Kelsey wants you to stay. So yeah, stay, Marcos. But just going on to your other rumours as well that are going about. Of course, Justin Kluivert. I think Justin Kluivert is a outstanding player under Andoni Iraola. Like I've said before, since he left out Ajax, he struggled, and he's now found his place back in the game. So I think that could be quite a detrimental to him. If he was to actually jump ship now, it could actually be a detriment to him. So personally, Justin, I think you should stay. Traore, I think he's surplus to requirements. He come over. He was a very exciting player. I really like him, but I just don't think he fits into Andoni's game plan. So he'd probably be the one that I'd go, yeah, no problem. Thank you very much. And I think, based on what he has done since elsewhere, I think he will, command quite a good fee. And I think we'll probably get our money back for him, actually, which is
without
good.
a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. I think the one thing we do have, luckily, is we're not letting these players go for nothing, right? We're definitely getting the worth out of them. We're definitely getting them to a position where they're worth being bought for the money they're being bought for. Again, which just comes down to the development squad, right, and the recruitment team. So we can't complain at that side. I don't know if you want to run through these comments before I jump on to the next bit.
Yeah, I shall do. So, Dan Shaw, I'm going to give my verdict on this. See, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a free agent. Get him in. Interesting one. Ollie, what do you think of Dominic Calvert-Lewin? I'm going to give my honest opinion in a moment, and I think it could be quite controversial, but go on, Ollie.
Interesting, because I think mine might fall along similar lines to yours, Craig. So yeah, I'll say mine first, and I don't think, firstly, Dominic Calvert-Lewin would fit into the squad. Firstly, I don't think his presence on the pitch or his attitude as a player necessarily fits into what we're trying to build. I also think that he hasn't quite. I think that at certain stages of a footballer's career, they earn the right to play, right? And you earn the right to continue playing at 34 or 35 in the Premier League. You earn the right as Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi to still make the big screens at 40. You earn that right to play on a pitch or play in the Premier League. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin is one of the players that sticks out that just hasn't quite earned that right to continue playing in the Premier League, unfortunately.
Yeah. I've got to say, I completely agree. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has always come across to me as a player that blows hot and cold. There is times when he does something remarkable and you think, well, actually, he's a bloody good player. But there's times when he goes missing. I don't think his application and his attitude is particularly that good. There's a reason why I think Everton aren't going to be too bothered.
Yep.
I don't think that it's just Dominic Calvert-Lewin saying I want to go out of Everton. Of course, that football club is, going somewhere because of the new stadium. There's probably going to be new investment. David Moyes is a very good manager. He'll know. He'll know what's wrong with Everton, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin could have been a big part of that. So yeah, I personally think that, and I know so many people. I know when we was watching an Everton game actually when I was at Dad's, and Dad said again he's a very lazy player. He's a player there's something not quite right with the
No.
way he applies himself on the pitch. So yeah, personally, it's a no-go from me. And Malcolm agrees. No thanks, Dan. And I agree with you, Mal. But it's all about opinions. It's all about opinions, and it's an interesting topic that. But yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, not for me either. Sorry, Dan. But I tell you, who might like him? Manchester United. They always like a player like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, get yourself to Old Trafford, Dominic, and you might find your place there. And yeah, relegate them, please. Let's have a look at the other comments. Hello to Paul from Oz. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. And of course, the free agents, Dan said, do get released today. Of course, clubs can keep them on effectively, on a training basis. However, most of those free agents are going to be either released by the club or they're going to choose to leave themselves to find themselves another club without that pull or that other side holding them back. Paul from Oz. See, Beale's about in the England winner's goal. For younger viewers, it was a great TV program from the past. All good fun. I tell you what, can you remember Beatles about?
Nope.
I always used to watch Beatles about. When I was about 5, 6 years old, used to go round to my nan's, and Beatles About used to be on TV. I think was it the repeats that was showed on a Monday night, because that's the day we used to go round there, and it was always on the TV. And literally, Jeremy Beadle used to. He's dead and gone. God bless his heart. But he's been gone a long time actually. But he used to do all these funny things. If you imagine, you saw Noel's house party, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like gotchas. It was like gotchas. So Beatles About was, more about pranking people without Mr. Blobby. So yeah, it was it was good. It was good. A good time. Good time. So
Good.
yeah, there we are. So there's your transfer update for the day.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
tell you what, let's go on to the next bit as well, Ollie, and do tell us what that is.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm not sure how many people listening, watching, commenting afterwards is going to be into fantasy football. So the Fantasy Football League obviously starts in the next couple of weeks, where you can start picking your teams. I'm one that does do fantasy football most years, as do all of my friends, all of the work lot. There's tons of people that always enter tournaments and stuff. Now, we probably won't do a tournament because that's not something that we can facilitate or want to manage in any way, really. We'd be happy to get involved in other people's, but I thought an idea would be to kind of give you a rundown, especially considering the news that's come out this weekend. There are, believe it or not, fantasy football experts out there. Right?
Yes, I'm not one.
no, neither am I. I can't say I've ever done really too well at fantasy football, but the experts in fantasy football are currently pairing a lot of the Aston Villa and Bournemouth defenders because of the first 7 games. Now, the first 7 games, obviously, Bournemouth's first game is Liverpool, so that's probably not the best suggestion. But for example, if you were to pick a player from Bournemouth, say Senesi, if he's still here, and an Aston Villa defender, between the first 7 games, you tend to get the most points out of having those 2 defenders in, because Bournemouth had 8 clean sheets last season, 9 clean sheets, something like Aston Villa was 6th or 7th. And depending on the FDR, which is a fixture difficult rating on the Fantasy Football League, depends on how you should be managing these players and managing this player rotation between the defenders to get the most out of it. Now, I could talk about this for hours. There isn't much point in me talking about it for hours if no one's interested. So it would be fantastic to kind of get a basic understanding. If anyone is interested, if anyone's interested in the comments after, just to know if we should do a fantasy football show moving forward. Basically.
There we are.
Yeah.
Fantasy football, something that I've never been very good at. Always finish bottom of these leagues. So yeah, if you're interested in the tips and tricks to make your fantasy football team the best, let us know. I'm always interested in Football Manager though. Football Manager is brilliant.
Yeah, well, that's been going for crikey, 30 years almost now, isn't it?
They didn't do one last season. Just a quick couple of comments here. Paul has kind of corrected me. There's me going on about Jeremy Beadle. Of course, it's James Beadle, who is the Brighton goalkeeper, who is in goal for England and looks very, very good. And of course, he was on loan last season at Sheffield Wednesday from Brighton. So yeah, he does look a very, very good goalkeeper. And I think he's joined Birmingham. That's an interesting one. I don't know that, but it looks as if, just having a quick look, that he is on the verge of joining Birmingham City, who, of course, have just been promoted back to the Championship. So yeah, he's got a very, very good future in the game. No doubt, no doubt. But there we go. So that is Cherry AM for another morning. Like I say, please hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button below. It helps this channel to grow. If there's any topics you want us to discuss, feel free to leave them in the comments as well below this video, or on any of our social media platforms. Hello to anybody who has watched over at Instagram, albeit I don't know if it's working properly because it says that it's live, but nothing seems to be moving past the Up the Cherries screen. So if you are watching on Instagram and it is stuck there, I'm really, really sorry. It's good that you found the YouTube channel instead. Dan said, yeah, we should do the Sun one. And Paul from Oz said, good stuff, lads. And Paul Sant said, thanks, lads. So yeah, there we go.
Excellent.
No, thank you again, everybody. Thank you again personally from myself with regards to my predicament that I've had over the past, couple of months. It started back on the 9th of May when, it was detected something was wrong. Of course, since then, it's been test after test after test. Thursday wasn't particularly good, but hopefully later on this week we'll find out what actually is wrong. And thank you, Malcolm. And yeah, we'll find out what actually is wrong, and can just get me on the mend. It might be absolutely nothing, but yeah, most people have been absolutely brilliant, and everybody on this channel has been absolutely brilliant. So yeah, thank you so much. Ollie, back in for tomorrow?
Indeed, yeah. Look forward to it. See everyone tomorrow.
We'll have to find some more topics to discuss, but no doubt.
I wouldn't worry about that. We actually might have a secret giveaway tomorrow for people to get involved in for a cherry sign. So yeah, there's going to be some more things coming up, people. So do keep your eye out.
There we go. There we are. Keep your eyes peeled. There we are. There is potentially a secret giveaway tomorrow. But until tomorrow, thank you from myself and Ollie, and we shall see you then.
The TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.